So welcome to the School of Rockstars. This is another episode of Think Like a Rockstar. Today we're going to think like Mel Robbins.
Changed a couple years ago when I discovered something called the progress principle. It is a principle that was written about in the Harvard Business Review. It's based on a tremendous amount of research done by a professor over there. And what she determined is that people that feel happy and successful and fulfilled by their lives and work, they all have one thing in common. They feel as though they're making progress on something that matters. So I read this little bit of research and I started applying it to my life. And what I do, as stupid as this sounds, it really works. I don't focus on balancing everything. I focus on just making sure that I make progress on one thing a day. That's right, you heard me. One thing a day that matters to me. Now, if I can make progress on one thing a day that matters to me, then I can let go and let the rest of my day get hijacked by kids, by spouse, by phone calls, by emails, by social media, by all kinds of things that come up and tend to hijack your day when you're a busy person, when you have a family, when you're married, when you got a lot going on. And so by focusing on one thing a day, I feel the sense of control and the sense of progress that science tells us will make you happy and make you feel more confident and actually make you more effective at getting things done. It also frees me up to be more present.
One thing. If you're starting any new project or any new idea, you'll get so many options. You'll be overwhelmed with all options. Like in our mind, we think that we want to take all options and we want to get the success at once. But what we do, we don't take any action. So we end up doing nothing. So we think we are like more of thinking than execution. So you should not be like that. You should be like 5% planning and 95% execution. So for example, I can say when you talk to your life coach or the trainer, so they give you many options to start your project, but you are overwhelmed with the options you have. So go and ask them, give me one thing to start right now. They will give you the first task to move forward. That gives you confidence, because when you done that task, you will get the huge confidence on yourself. So in my case, I can say the example from my life. So when I started YouTube, I don't know what I'm doing. I just edited some videos and I started putting on YouTube. But one day, one of my family members, she told me that you're putting some other's video. You're not putting yourself on YouTube. That word gave me a thought to start and be myself, to speak out thoughts. I'm afraid of what I'm speaking. I'm scared of presenting myself. But from that day onwards, I didn't look back. I started uploading myself, talking to camera and talking to people, interviewing them. When I started uploading videos, I don't know what to do, but I just started speaking something onto camera and posting it to social media. And also I get like a lot of ideas. I started top 7 rules and I started some other series, but I don't know, like I'm overwhelmed by my own ideas. So what I did was I started doing interviews with the people in my community. So I started a series called Becoming Rockstars. So in that series, I share their life stories, and because they are in the journey of becoming something in their particular field or in their particular craft. So I want to share their inspiring stories to the world. I know they are small, but one day they'll get bigger and bigger. So you need to know the stories behind them. They have gone through so much of pain. They have like so much of experience. So first I took that one thing. I asked one of my closest friend, Tommy. So he's surprised and happy to do an interview. So from that day, I just took that one thing, started doing that one thing. Each week I started doing one interview, and now I'm doing 2 interviews a week, 3 interviews a week. I'm super happy and super satisfied by my decision. So when you start taking that small action by doing one thing at a time, you'll feel that confidence. By this week, you have to set a goal. By this week, I need to get this done. So over the weeks, you'll get all done. So when you are starting anything big, it scares you and it is like overwhelming and prevent you from taking action and moving forward. So what you need to do, you need to take one thing. You need to start taking small actions once at a time. First complete the small tasks in a particular week, then repeat it every week. Set your goals, set a weekly goals every week and complete them. Then you will reach the goal you want. Overall, over the weeks, you will get done. You will get done with all the tasks you have, all the options you have. But first you need to start doing by starting one thing at a time. Start taking actions that gives you results. Don't sit and plan. Don't be in the planning zone forever. Take yourself into execution zone. You need to do something that gives you results. So focus. Do one thing. Do one thing.
Called The One Thing. Have you ever seen that? It says you should just do one thing. And I go, well, I shouldn't even bother reading that. That doesn't apply to me. But then I thought about it. It's like, well, I do one thing. I live a creative life. Everything you do, you apply creativity to it, whether it's the way you meet with a friend and make them dinner, or you do stuff with your kids, and then when you go and you're working on an idea and you're doing music at the same time while you're on the set, and you're never in a block because you're always actually in a flow. If you don't live your life creatively and then you set aside some time at night to go write your novel, you're going to get a block because you're not in the flow. But if you apply creativity to everything in your life, everything is available to you to where you suddenly can paint. Like you'll see paintings I did with the actors. Even though they're very creative in the acting world, they didn't think they could paint. So I made them paint, and then they saw that they were able to, because when you're in a creative flow, you can do just about anything. So it's all about living a creative life to where you can't possibly ever get blocked, because you're always, okay, well, I have an idea for writing, so I'm going to go cook something, which is art you can eat, and you're serving it, and you're eating it, and consuming it, and you're creating, and you go back and you do that. Does that make sense? It's almost like,
there's no structured boxes around it. It's like the lifestyle.
Delineation.
Be a rock star. Don't be a victim of your life. Be a rock star. Thank you.